What's up, dudes? Talking Stead is back, man. Had me a baby, so things have been a little chaotic lately, so sorry for the breaks. But today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects ever, Antarctica. We're going to take a little trip back in time to it's the old Nazis Germany. 1938, the Nazis decided to head on down to Antarctica on their conquest for whatever the fuck they were looking for. They were looking for hidden artifacts. They were going conquest all over the world. They were in Africa. They were everywhere, trying to find as many religious, ancient artifacts. Weird shit, man. Weird shit that you don't get told of in World War II. So anyways, Nazis go down there. They create a little area called New Schwabenland. And I don't know, I guess I just wanted to kick it with some penguins and shit. So then we have Rear Tail, got it, what the fuck? Richard E. Byrd, Admiral Byrd, from the United States Navy, or the Air Force. He was the first man to fly over the North Pole and to fly over the South Pole. He was the youngest Medal of Honor recipient ever in the United States history, and he's all around badass. So anyways, Admiral Byrd, after making his trips, he brings, 4,700 troops, 33 airplanes, and I believe it was 20 or 23 ships, so including aircraft carriers, destroyers, battleships, whatever. So we go down there to Antarctica for scientific exploratory reasons and whatnot. You can look up the videos, they're all over YouTube. Just type in Operation High Jump. There's all kinds of old military reels and interviews with Byrd himself. So they go down there with a freaking army, basically, and most believe that it was to look for the Nazis, the New Schwabia, and hidden Nazi bases down in Antarctica. Well, if you read Admiral Byrd's diary, and if you watch his own confessional, which is a year before he died, which is ironic, so Admiral Byrd looked kind of like a crazy person, but the thing is he said that whenever he was flying over Antarctica, that he traversed an extra 1,700 miles over Antarctica and then found new freaking lands the size of North America, lush vegetation, rivers, streams, oceans, forests, animals. He said he saw something that looked like a damn woolly mammoth alive wandering around down in South Pole, but Antarctica. So then he goes on this TV show, some TV show sponsored by Watches at the time, and he starts talking about all these discoveries and that there's more resources, that we would never ever run out of resources on planet Earth, there's extra lands, and that he can't wait to find out what happens next. Well, within a year, Admiral Byrd is dead after that testimony. In 1958, which is a year after Admiral Byrd's death, we decide to start the Antarctic Treaty. So get this straight, we're in the middle of the Cold War, the space race, all that. Russia and America are enemies, yet somehow all these countries come together and decide that we're going to peacefully ignore Antarctica. So what the Antarctic Treaty did was it created three separate steps to where basically us regular humans, not humans, but whatever, civilians, we can't go there, because they don't want exploratory reasons, they don't want war-type reasons, and they don't want to take resources. So, or disturb the environment, the ecosystem of the penguins. So, people will say that, yeah, you can go to South America, or to the South Pole, you can go to, Antarctica. You can, but not everybody gets to. And it costs like $20,000, $30,000 just to see if you can even go. And they can revoke that money at any point if they decide that they don't want you to go. So then what they do, the funny thing is you'll go to Chile at the bottom of South America, and then you'll go down to a peninsula off of Antarctica. And then they'll show you a ceremonial pole that's just in the middle of the ice. Meanwhile, you're not very far inland from the coastal edge. So, it's kind of funny that GPSs and compasses, they only point north. So there's no way to determine the true South Pole. And even if you were to say that GPS says, oh, well, you could locate blah, 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 this, that, you can. But what if it's bigger than we're told? Like, what if there is more out there? So then the GPS layout is going to be different than what you'd expect it to be. So another one, before Admiral Byrd, there was Captain Cook. And he had told his men that they were going to North Pole, but they actually snuck off and went down to the South Pole. And I believe it was 8 years, 7 or 8 years, he was going to circumnavigate the South Pole. Now, depends on your sources, but they'll say that the Antarctica, the coastline, is 12 to 15,000 miles around. Well, Captain Cook ended up going 30 to 50,000 miles when he circumnavigated. So somebody's lying, man. Somebody, and it's funny too, is if you zoom in on Google Earth, zoom in on Antarctica, and you zoom to the middle of Antarctica, it's just a big white blotch. And the more you notice as you zoom in, you'll notice the lines of strips. They've literally just whited it out. While 5-6 years ago, people were zooming in on Google Earth, and they were going all the way in, and they were finding what looked like crashed UFOs. They were finding what looked like structures there. They were finding what looked like pyramids there. And then all of those exact same locations on Google Earth now have been scrubbed. They're literally just whitewashed, big white blob. If you listen to a researcher named Linda Moulton Howe, she has interviewed multiple military personnel that were naval officers, they were fighter pilots, they were Navy SEALs, that say that they found underground bases that they thought were Nazi bases, but had weird hieroglyphics all over them. And we know that thousands and thousands of years ago, Antarctica was not covered in ice as it was today, meaning there could be, civilizations that we would never have imagined, with technologies that we never would have imagined. I mean, there's others that speak of the entrance to hollow Earth. There's people say that, in flat Earth, that Antarctica is an ice wall that surrounds the entire planet. If it was an ice wall, that would make a little more sense on the 30 to 50,000 miles that Captain Cook traversed. But, it's just always been one of my favorite subjects because it's the only place we can't go, and it's out of safety for the penguins. It's kind of ironic. But at the end of the day, screw storming Area 51 and all that. I say we need to just get us a whole freaking fleet like Admiral Byrd, take us a trip down to Antarctica. They can't stop all of us, man. What are they hiding? The Thing? Fucking Kurt Russell mode, baby. Pull out the flamethrower. Let's go. All right. Peace out.